friends. Hello, hello. My name is Janessa Oriel and I'm the head of community here at Sell with Amy. Pardon. And I'm so excited to be able to be here live and chatting with you. I wanted to bring some top tips for using the app. Some of the things that we get a lot of questions about. I know that we have our CEO, Amal, sent out a survey. She wants to know a little bit about your experiences so far and some of the things that we've received some feedback on. I wanted to share with you here. So some of the top items that come up, I want to be able to share and provide some tips for utilizing the app for you. So I will, if you're catching me live, hashtag live, please feel free to let me know below where you're tuning in from. If you are here for the hashtag after party, go ahead and let me know, hashtag after party, and then share, share your favorite emoji for this fine January day. So can't wait to see who's here. I'm not seeing comments just yet, but that's okay. Sometimes it gets a little bit slow or it's a little delayed. So without further ado, I want to go through a few of the things that I wanted to mention. I wanted to chat a little bit about Scent of the Month. Hi, Carla. Carla is a Kansas City fan, and I will say the Sell with Amy home office is based in San Francisco, so she is cold in Kansas City. Or I'm assuming tuning in from Kansas City. Okay, enough of the distractions. We have a lot to get through, so I want to make sure to stay focused today. So first and foremost, let's talk about Scent of the Month. So I want to be able to share in here, okay, in the products tab down here under products, you can actually scroll down and under specials, you have the ability to see past Scent of the Month, scent and warmer of the month, and also scent and warmer of the month. Okay, so you have the ability to see these two things. However, I know that oftentimes, or that you get access to this information if you have scent of the month early and you make samples and you want to be able to give them out. There's a way to do that. You can actually go ahead and create a product. Now you can see I've created a product. I don't even remember doing this, but Coke can. But you can actually add upcoming scent of the month. Now I can't talk and type at the same time. Let's say I have a prop here. It's grass. I don't know what the next scent of the month is. I never know, right? You know before I do, which is fine. But I'm going to go ahead and price it. And this could be for a sample or whatnot. You can price it however is appropriate. I'm just going to list $6. I'm also going to leave the link optional, or I'm going to leave the link blank. The reason I'm leaving the link blank is because if someone actually wants to buy it, let's say that they purchased it, they want to buy it, or you sampled it out and they're interested in buying it, this way they know how much it is, but when they go to click on it, it's not going to take them to the website because it's not been released yet, right? Let's say that we don't have that scent of the month yet, but it's coming, right? So you don't have a link to be able to provide them yet, but you can go back in and fill this out, okay? And then you can provide a description each month. There is a warmer and scent of the month. Released early or something like this. Early. Let me know what you think, or something like that. So what you can do, you can do a couple of things. One is I'm going to create a photo. I'm going to take a photo of this grass right here. Perfect. Use photo. So let's say that it's grass. Now in an ideal world you would take a picture of it or would use some sort of graphic. You would make sure that it's relevant to what you're sharing out, okay? In this example I'm just using the grass because I have it right here, right? And I'm going to say that this is a photo that I took. I have access to use it. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and create this. So I'm going to check my comments really quickly, make sure we're okay. Number 63 on San Francisco used to live across the street from me when he was like 4 years old. That's awesome. That's so cool. Okay. So in this example, I would go ahead and I would utilize this, and then what happens is as I get my scent of the month and I make my little samples, right? Please feel free to stick to the make sure that you're in compliance in general in terms of your samples. But you make the samples, you hand them out, then what happens is I can go ahead and I can say I gave a sample to Dash. I'm going to go ahead and record a sample, and I'm going to go to, there it is. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a sample of the upcoming scent of the month. Now you can create a new one for every month if you'd like, and then you can delete it, or just say the month and then the year that it is. So for example, I could say February of 2020. Guys, my mind is blown. That's like 10 days away. Whole nother topic. Anyway, but I can do this and I can say complete, and I can say I gave the sample there, and I can confirm that sample. Now I can go through, and when let's do that for a few more people before I actually give that example. We're going to contact, actually, Gizmo here. We're going to create a sample. So if you do this for complete, confirm, you do this for a number of individuals, actions, record sample, okay, complete, confirm. Now what happens when I go to my dashboard, so dashboard lower right hand corner, I can go ahead and select the samples. I can actually see, if you send them all out on the same day, you can actually go back and then go ahead and connect with each of these individuals, for example, and say, hey, did you love it? It releases on February 1st, so forth and so on. So that is an example of how you can utilize my products, my products to be able to sample out scent of the month and then follow up on those samples. So that way, if you're taking the time, money, and energy to be able to make those samples, make sure that they're doing the work for you, right? All right, so that's one. Step two is, let's go ahead and go into here. You're going to find yourself. And the reason you're going to find yourself, right now, I am listed in my Sell with Amy app as a customer. And that is not very beneficial to me, because that means that every time I place an order, the workstation gathers that, sends it right over, and then I get follow-ups for myself. And that's not necessary, because I don't want to remember how much I bought. I'm not the only one, right? Give me some hearts if you understand what I'm talking about. Or maybe, yeah, give me some hearts. All right, so in this example, I'm going to go ahead and change myself from customer to me. What that does is it allows me to be able to make sure that anything labeled me, I'm not going to get a follow-up for. It's different than uninterested or champion. Uninterested genuinely means they don't want any to-dos created for them, but the app is so smart that it knows any orders. There we go. I'm seeing my hearts. We've got a strong delay today, but that's totally okay. So what happens is if I list me as me, all my orders will no longer get follow-ups. So that way it allows the app to be really smart and go, oh, that's for you. You don't need a reminder. Every now and then you might want to set a reminder for yourself anyway, just to change your wax or share a video on changing the wax. How do you do it? How frequently do you do it? So forth and so on. Whole nother topic. But point is, if you change yourself as me, it's going to make the app really smart in relation to any orders that you have. Sherry loves that. Yes. Let's talk about adjusting the timing of follow-ups. So we go over this every now and then, but I wanted to be able to bring it up because, again, Amal is going to be connecting with Home Office this week. We're really excited to be able to have her connect with Home Office and chat and kind of discuss some of the things that we want to improve for this year within the app for all of our Scentsy friends. And so I want to actually show you here. You can modify the timings of those follow-ups. So if you go to Account, lower right-hand corner here, and then you go ahead and do Preferences, you have the ability to make changes here. In this example, reminder to review open to-dos. I currently have that off, so I'm not getting reminders just to go ahead and take care of those to-dos. It's probably why I have 8 just sitting there waiting for me. Now let's say that I like to work my business bright and early in the morning. I can actually set the time at 6 a.m. because maybe that's when my children aren't awake yet, and I can have some time to go through those to-dos. So it's important to do that. Hi, Sheila. So Carla just filled out that survey last night from Amy, so that absolutely is the survey that we've pulled from. We gathered some things, and these are some of the tips that I wanted to be able to share with you because we recognize that there are some, there's there's some things that are coming up, and we want to make sure the app is really, really smart and has a lot of functionality. So we want to make sure that you know that you can go through and adjust all these to-dos and make them work for you and for your business, because your business is different than maybe your sponsors or maybe different from your downlines. Everybody works their business very differently, and we want to make sure that you can customize the app so that way you get those to-dos at really appropriate intervals for you and your business. And make sure that your team understands that they have the ability to do the same. So if there's any question, you can always point them to this group. We'll be sure to help highlight these things and make sure that Amy is super productive for them. I also wanted to make sure that you knew, so one of the things that we've seen come up often, and I will tell you, we hang out on Instagram. The Sell with Amy team hangs out on Instagram, and we like to see what's going on out there, right? We like to see what's going on in terms of our Scentsy friends, and we like to see who's tagging us and so forth and so on. And we have noticed when we've gone through a number of our Scentsy people who have either liked our posts or people who we've liked their posts, we've noticed or seen that there's a number of consultants out there that actually have private profiles. And that's okay. And I understand that the desire to stay private. I totally get it. However, if you want to be able to maximize the visibility of your business, a private profile is not going to allow you to utilize our social shop features. So our social shop allows you to have a very personalized shopping experience for your customers. And what it does is it actually takes your Instagram posts, your public Instagram posts, and then it allows you to attach products to that. I will include a help portal article in the comments below after I'm done with this live, going through the social shop and how to make sure to utilize it. But I want to do a very, very kind and loving reminder that if you have Instagram and you want to be able to use that social shop, the only way that it is useful for customers that are not friends with you on Instagram is to absolutely make sure that you have a public profile. If that means you create a business only profile so you don't share some of your personal whatever you don't feel comfortable sharing in a public setting, that's totally fine, but we want to make sure to emphasize that point. So let's see. Amy's the reason I'm super productive. You betcha. Margaret said, that was Margaret's comment. That's so good to hear. Sherry also filled out a survey. Guys, that survey is tremendously helpful. Donna is asking a very, very, very relevant question, whereas Carla's an open book on social media. I understand. I totally get it. Donna is saying social shop only available with Instagram, and the answer to that is yes. And there's reasons for that. Instagram, when you have a public profile, allows the Sell with Amy app to be able to pull those images and utilize them for the social shop. Facebook has so many rules and restrictions around privacy and algorithms, so forth and so on. That's one of the reasons why you don't have the ability to utilize it from the Facebook standpoint. However, it is worthwhile, if for no other reason, to be able to have that social shop feature that then you can share on Facebook to be able to utilize Instagram. You don't have to grow a following. You don't have to do anything other than have the spot to be able to have your photos. And then the cool thing is you can actually have that Instagram automatically share to your Facebook page if that's something that you'd like to do. You just need to start it with Instagram. So these are some top tips. If you have additional questions, please drop them below. Just like Donna, I was able to answer a question right here live. If you're watching on our hashtag after party, please feel free to go ahead and drop those questions below as well. I will be addressing them throughout the day, and I hope that they were helpful. If you have received a survey, please feel free to fill that out. It's tremendously helpful. Again, as Amal is at home office, she wants to be able to gather some information and make sure to help make the app so much more valuable for all of our Scentsy friends for sure. So thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have an incredible day. I look forward to seeing you right back here next Tuesday as well. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye, friends.